Hi everyone, welcome back to WHU TV. My name is John, your host as always, and as always I hope you're all doing well. This is episode 9 of a weekly live chat with me. So basically, as you saw from the intro video, this is like open Q&A where you and I will discuss things as quickly as not as quickly as possible, of course. You and I will discuss things when mostly of everything that's happened with West Ham within the last week, so there's plenty to talk about. So of course, as always, first and foremost guys, this video, this live broadcast as always is sponsored by the channel sponsor 3retro.com. Please click the link in the description below that will take you directly through to the West Ham section of their website. Up here is an animation of where you can see some of the sample shirts you can buy. There's also Admiral and Umbro West Ham colour inspired track jackets, polo shirts, sweatshirts and t-shirts, so go check those out. So as always guys, let's have a look to see who's in the chat. Rick says the snosberries taste like snosberries. been on the sauce already, Rich, have you, mate? Hey, on the sauce already, Gordon Bennett. But yes, hope you're doing all right, mate. Also, for that matter, see who else is about. Mike Williams, hello, Mike. Good evening. Rick, hello, mate. Nick, good to see you back, mate. Andy, welcome back. TSC, hello, mate. And Rich is now back, so hopefully his snosberries and coke, snosberries and vodka has been quite nice. So okay, guys, so let's start off. So it's a roundup of what's happened over the last 7 days, so basically from Thursday till today. And first thing to talk about: 3-0 over Leicester. Who would have thought it? Who would have thought it? You know, who would have thought about that? I mean, it was really, really good to see the fact that we were so dominant yet once again. And thank you to everybody that joined in for the live watch along as well. Of course, very, very good game to watch. Little bit tricky is to do a watch along because it's hard to concentrate. You miss so much when you do a watch along. You really, really do. But it's really good fun speaking to you guys as it always is. You know, it's. You know, it was a good performance. The squad had proven me wrong where I said that playing with 2 wing backs exposes our centre backs. I've been proven massively wrong on that, and I'm very, very great. I'm very, very happy to be wrong on that subject as well. For that matter, you know, for example, it was very good to see Fabianski keep a clean sheet once again. Disappointing from Leicester's point of view for having that goal ruled out because it was a beautiful movement. I was watching Match of the Day 2 last night, and it doesn't matter how many times you look at it, you know, it was offside. Very, very good movements from the Leicester players, but you know, it's just one of those things. I don't agree that they don't have a shot on target because that obviously was on target. I know it was ruled out for offside, but in my opinion, it still counts as a shot on target. But as I said, very good goal from Antonio. Brilliant goal from Fornals. As I said at the time, and watching the replay back of that, absolutely superb contact from him. You know, his ball control, his movement. He didn't rush it either, for that matter. Slipped it through that very, very narrow gap between Schmeichel and the far post, or the near post, I should say. And yeah, very, very good movement. And of course, the third goal from Bowen, very good. Now, I was thinking about this over the last week or so when Bowen scored his hat-trick against Wolves. Right, I genuinely think that the reason why he went like that is because a lot of people have been criticising him on Twitter. He must have been reading it. He must have read it. I mean, they're in their 20s, guys. They're addicted to Twitter. They're going to be seeing comments about him. So, you know, very good. So let's see if a few other people have joined in since that. So, yeah, Richie, Del, hello, mate. Good to see you. Richie wishes he was on the Snosberries and vodkas. Rob's Projector Wall. Oi, chaps, welcome, mate. Always nice to see new faces, or new pictures at least. Kent says, evening, John. Good evening, mate. Did you get an email in regards to Club Cash? I did. We'll talk about that in a minute. That's one of the things we're going to talk about. Del says, Walker's off doing a bitter flavour crisps for the weekend. Andy says, results, great result, things looking rosy. It's 2 games, mate. I know. You know, I'm not trying to get. We've got 34 games. Where are we? Yeah, 34 games left to play yet. So I'm not getting away with it. I want to be buzzing around like everybody is at the minute. But there's as he says, for now. Yeah. Nick says people should respect Moyes and not just give credit to Irvine. It's Irvine, but okay. Credit where credit's due to Messiah. Again, I'm not getting carried away with it. Yes, it's instructions from Moyes. You're absolutely right there, Nicky, mate. Totally right on that. A lot of people have saying Irvine in and Moyes out. People not realising the fact that they're getting instructions down to Irvine via Stuart Pearce. So, that's the thing. Rishi says, I was working, so missed the game. Good evening, Gary. Hope you're alright. Nick says, Fornals is a GOAT. Well, I wouldn't say he was the greatest of all time just yet, mate, but he's very, very good. JM427914418. Okay. Didn't score a hat-trick. Well, nobody did over the weekend. Apart from, obviously, apart from, who was it? The Villeneuve boy obviously scored a hat-trick, but we won't go into that because it's not West Ham related. Nick says, I got my final exam, so I have to miss the Spurs game. Mate, you're not going to miss much, I don't think, to be fair. Gary says, I think they watch these channels and they do get some sticks, so they are sticking to them. Yeah, agreed, mate. He said Bowen did James. Sorry, apologies. Yeah, he got a brace. Sorry, not a hat-trick. Not a hat-trick. Yeah, brace. My apologies. He's got 3 and 2. That's where I was going with it. Apologies. Yeah, misworded it there. It's 3 and 2. Right. So as I say, and then obviously Tuesday night. Monday night. I should say Monday night. A debacle. Now I did go live, and yes, thanks Nick. As I said, Ollie Watkins. Yeah, could have had 5 against Leicester, against Liverpool. To be honest with you, could have had 5. Really could have had 5. Where she asks, do you think Moyes told Irvine what to do and Irvine just ignored him and did his own thing and that's why he looks so good? No, mate, no. No. Nick's going to have words with you about that, I reckon. I reckon he will. But yeah, of course, the transfer window, such as it was, because we obviously did go live at 11 o'clock last night, on Monday night, sorry, and, it's... yeah, I was quite angry. I wasn't disappointed because I knew what was happening, but I was very, very disappointed with Monday. But as Chris has just very, very summed it up, sorry that was there. Not much posting at the close of the window. Have you seen posting on Sky Sports regarding West Ham regarding Craig Dawson and from Watford for about 4 million? We'll come on to that in a minute, Chris. But because obviously, as I said on Monday night on the broadcast, people are not understanding how the transfer window works this season. Because I know Sky weren't helping the cause, because this is how many times I tell you guys, and none of you listen by the scenes of things, not to listen to Sky Sports. There's only 2 people. There's only really one person I trust, and that's ex-West Ham employee. I don't trust anybody else on Sky. Sky nick their information from Twitter anyway. So, it's just, it's ridiculous. But, as I said, the transfer window properly closes on the 16th of October at 5 p.m. Yeah, that's when the transfer window actually closes. The international transfer window and Premier League to Premier League transfer window, bar a couple of leagues, closed on Monday night. So that's why the domestic is still open for the next 6 days. Where are we? 9 days. 9 days left. So, it's very, very irritating that we now this is the thing. Now, according to the reports, as Chris has quite rightly said here, we're just reading a couple of the comments in here. Gary says, we play like that, we can beat anyone. Talking about Leicester. Sofal, apparently it's how you pronounce it, like Kufel. Sofal had a fantastic debut. Very, very impressed with him. Moyes said Dell's on for 3-1. James says, do you think Diop will come back into the team when he's back? Very good question. Sidewinding a little bit, but from where we're going with the conversation at the minute. But to be honest with you, Jay and mate, Oh, actually, let me know your name, because I'm not going to read. I'm not going to call out all those social security digits every single time, or a hidden phone number. But yeah, personally, yes, the way Balbuena's been playing, I know he didn't put a foot wrong on against Leicester. You know, well, a couple of things, but just Joe. Okay, Joe, thanks, mate. But Diop is going to have to prove himself some way. I don't like the idea of having Diop as a backup to the centre backs. There's very good odds on that both him and Fredericks are going to be back for the Spurs game. But you don't change a winning team, mate. That's the thing. You don't change a winning team. That's the thing. That's exactly. And Troyes just said the same thing. How can you change anyone in the team after last performances? Agreed. Totally, and yeah, need to change the name. But yeah, Dale, shut up, king of the wind-up merchants. Yeah, no, it's been a very very impressive performance from the guys, as I said, but bringing more up to date now. Troy says, yep, even a new signing starts on the bench, I reckon. Agreed. Dale says, Dale is class, he needs to get the hunger back. Agreed. Being on the bench will get his hunger back, I reckon. Now, Gary says, I don't blame Moyes throwing the cups. Gary, try and keep to the conversation. He's got to 2 million bonus riding on us, saying up, would you throw that much money away? Mate, he's minted. He's minted. We haven't won a proper trophy for 40 years. I don't agree with that in any shape or form. Now, so coming to the transfer window, all right. We'll talk about the other stuff as well. So Joe says, yeah, last season he was a monster, and he says, I knew we'd not sign anyone, so not upset, just annoyed how the whole club is run like a shower of shit. Agreed. Now, this is the thing. This is what I'm talking about, right? This is what I'm trying to get round to, so we can steer the conversation into this way, please, guys, because I don't like jumping around too much. We've got plenty of time, so we will get round to the things that you're talking about. But as I say, it's obviously a two-way conversation, as it always is. That's why it's a live chat. Otherwise, it'd just be my monologue towards you. But yeah, at the end of the day, guys, it's irritating that apparently we're only looking for 2 more players. Now, I'll tell you why this is irritating. For those that aren't aware, I'm sure everybody is, but for those that aren't aware, from the end of last season until now, basically, we sold Dean Garner to West Brom for 18 million. We sold Ayeti to Celtic for 5 million. Hugh Gill to Norwich for 3. We let Roberto go on a free to Real Valladolid, I think you pronounce that. But we are still subsidising his wages for his remaining year on his contract, which really irritates the hell out of me. Sanchez and Zabaleta are obviously released. Ngakia left on a free and ended up at Watford, who got it was either the club or the Championship Player of the Month in the Championship this for September. That's really freaking irritating. But we knew he'd do well. We knew he'd do well. He was a class player. Anthony Scully gone to Lincoln on an 18-month contract. No sign of what the fee is. I'm guessing it's only a few $100,000, if that. Cullen going for what actually seems to be more confirmed, about £500,000 to Anderlecht with a 3-year deal. But apparently we do have a sell-on clause. And if we want to buy him back, apparently we get first refusal. So that's pretty good. I quite like that idea. I think it's a shame that we got rid of Cullen. I really, really do. I like Josh. I think he's a fantastic player. Not to sound too much like twitchy, but I do genuinely think he's a very, very good player, and would have been perfect, especially now the amount. And also, obviously, Zonde Silva's gone on loan to Aris at the Greek club for the rest of the season, and also we terminated Jack Wilshere's contract. So we gave him pretty much a year left on his. He had a year left on his contract, if I remember correctly, and so we paid it up in full. So, you know, that's what I was trying to say on Monday night, guys. This is just ridiculous that we've let all these players go. That's almost, in actual fact, that is player for player an entire starting 11. It's 11 players, obviously with Anderson on loan to Porto, who from what I'm reading, they're paying the majority, if not all, of his wages. You know, it's ridiculous. We've got rid of 11 players, an entire fucking squad. We got rid of a goalkeeper. We got rid of a right back. We got rid of, well, in actual fact, we got rid of 2 centre backs. We got rid of a holding midfielder. We got rid of three midfielders, a striker, two strikers sold, a left winger, and another midfielder on loan gone. That's 11 players. We are down to the bare fucking bones, and they only want 2 players, and they are still claiming poverty. Now the whole Tamari, as Dell's quite rightly said here, mate, savings of £37 million. Yeah. The annual wage sheet is now under 100 million, and they're still claiming poverty. Bearing in mind, I guarantee if the Premier League had released how much they've paid every single club for last season, which they haven't disclosed yet, apart from that article I was talking about the other week. And the club have got the audacity to claim poverty still. Unbelievable. It was untrue. Absolutely untrue. I just don't get it. I mean, guys, give me your thoughts on this. Let me know what you're thinking. Mike says, yeah, squad down to its bare bones. Dell said it at the time. Wilshere should never have been taken on. Agreed. It was a PR stunt by the club. Massively backfired. Kent says we need 3 to 4 players minimum. Agreed. Joe says we need more than 2 signings. We have the smallest squad in the league. Yeah, it's 22, I think. 22 out of a 25-man squad. Ridiculous. Trosh is playing back 3. We can get away with Balbuena and Cress's lack of pace. Diop more suited to a back 4. Yep. Gary says, with the youth, it's all profit. That's why they're selling them. Yep. Didn't understand why. Rob says it costs us £4 million to get rid of Wilshere. Agreed. Troy says, I think they're selling them because they don't think they will make it at top level. Remains to be seen, I guess. Well, we'll never know, will we? I mean, Ngakia had the potential, but he wanted to move away because he didn't want to be third fiddle. Totally respect that. Troy says, remember everyone raving about Freddie Sears? Yeah. Wasn't given the chance. Was sold when we got relegated. Who knows what could have happened if you had the proper training. He's doing all right with Ipswich. Not doing brilliantly, but that's just because he's doing all right with Ipswich doesn't mean he wouldn't have been a fantastic player for us. Everybody was raving about him. The people that actually play football were seeing the potential about him. And you know, Rishi says we have only 19 first-team players. I think it's a little bit of an exaggeration there, mate. I know that Tom was saying about it on his video to Hammer's chat the other day, but it's about 21 if I remember correctly. Troy says we must have lowered the wages by 25% or something. Yeah, completely. Dale says I feel sorry for the poor saps who renewed their season tickets, mine included, mate. As I said, it's going to take a miracle for me to renew my season ticket next season. We'll come on to that in just a minute. About Kent, what Kent asked me earlier. Troy says past 2 years. Yeah, lowering the wages about 20 by a quarter over the last 2 years. Yeah. Chad, good evening, mate. Is David Boyes back? Apparently, he will be once when the players come back. He won't be self-isolating. Rob said, heard ITK saying because it's trying to sell. Rob, I guess you're talking about that secret agent. It's very convenient what he was saying. I don't believe it, and then loads of people are taking him for red, and I'm sorry, but no, it's not coming from anybody else, so I don't think so. And he says, even though, sorry, I'm late, bloody traffic. Troy says, my main gripe is when the injuries hit, we will fade and die. No ambition shown again, and lack of depth and bare bones will punish us. It's not me. It's not the only. It's the only thing I'm worried about, mate. But yeah, there's more gripes than that, if I'm honest. But yeah, as I said on Monday night, we could potentially, with these players coming back from international duty, any of them could be self-isolating for the next week to 2 weeks. When they come back, we get injuries. We're down to more than the bare bones, mate. We're down to the cartilage, quite frankly. You know what? Everybody knows what our injury history is like. You know, it's not good. It's not good. Gary says, I think we will save about 100 million come the end of the season. They will give 50 million for next season's window. We'll have to wait and see, mate, where we finish. We can't talk about that stuff just yet, but I know why it is. And it says just pathetic, the whole thing. Agreed. Joe says, we were promised that Dean Garner money would be invested in players, and all we have done is sell more. Agreed. Yeah, it's bullshit, man. I'm not even going on that rant. I've done it too many times already. Chad said, are you glad that Anderson has gone out on loan? I am, to a degree. I'm glad that we've got rid of his wages, for one. The majority, if not all of his wages. I do think we could have him as cover. We should have kept him as cover. But from a business point of view, it makes more sense. It'd be good for Anderson as well. It's in a country that he knows, playing for Porto. So hopefully it will bring his confidence back, and for when he returns next season, unless we didn't include a recall for injury into his loan deal, then we'll see him next season, and that's going to be his last season with us on his contract, and he'll go for free. So I don't know. We'll have to see what happens with that one. Gary says, I want interest on the loan I'm giving them for my season ticket money. Gary will come on to that in a minute. That's a bit fishy from the secret agent. Agreed, says Troy. Can't I'll be pleased if we get to take over, but I can't see it until 2023. I reckon 2022, mate. 22, I reckon, rather than 23, but agreed. Troy says, Abona now an international, he'll be out. And we fucked. Troy says, Anderson leaving was the best part of the window for him. Tony, hello mate, good to see you. I haven't seen you for a little while. Shame we sold Dean Garner, but the rest of the D parties hadn't really done much lately for the team. That said, we need 3 or 4 new additions, especially in the spine of the team. Centre mid, centre back, striker. Agreed. Christopher says, I do not understand why they paid 4 million to pay off Wilshere and not just keep him just in case we get any midfield player injured. Can't rely on him. Moyes doesn't want him. Can't rely on him. That's why. Dell says, we'll be in administration by then. Mate, we're not that far off. I'm guessing you were replying to Tony's message. But yeah, but as I said, you know, there are, as I said for the tagline of this next level. When I said for the tagline, said dark clouds hanging over West Ham. That's exactly what we're talking about. It's nothing but dark times. It's dark outside. It's dark up here. It's dark in here. You know, it's awful times being a West Ham supporter. It really, really is. But we're used to this. We're completely used to this. Now, going back to what Kent was asking earlier about, did I get an email about the club cash and refunds? No, I didn't, but I gave the club a call and they to talk about a couple of things, because this came up on the website this morning, well, this afternoon I should say. Ticket refund information and 10% club cash offer. West Ham United can confirm that the season ticket holders will receive their pro rata refunds from the 2021 Premier League season opening match against Newcastle United in the coming days, or alternatively can choose to take advantage of a new club cash offer instead. With our men's and women's fixtures currently be played without supporters present, in line with the government guidelines and social distancing measures still in place as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, refunds will be processed and issued within 30 days of each fixture as part of our pledge to season ticket holders who took options 1 or 2 when renewing. Let me just change the background and make it a little bit better. There you go, that's a bit better. Following requests from supporters for an option to retain their balance with the club to offset against next season's renewal and to streamline the process, we are also pleased to offer a new option for season ticket holders. The club will add a further 10% to any match refund that is selected in club cash, providing a convenient and transaction-free way for season ticket holders to boost their balance. You can choose this option on a game-by-game basis, or for convenience, you can opt out. You can opt to receive funds in this way for the whole season with your extra 10% for any extra games, for any games you may miss due to safety guidelines. Blah, 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 blah. Just coming up about advertising. Of course, supporters can also use their credit against their 21-22 season ticket renewal. Bands 1 through 5 and 1966 season ticket holders are eligible for this offer. If you wish to take up this option, you can do so by clicking here by 12 noon on the Monday the 12th of October. Supporters who do not wish to take advantage of this option will be refunded to their method of payment immediately following this deadline. Please note that supporters paying in instalments of the V12 finance or by cash will be contacted separately. The same process will be run for the men's Wolverhampton Wanderers fixture by the 26th of October and the women's Reading fixture by the 4th of November, giving our supporters the choice to receive a refund or convert to club cash with the 10% bonus. We would like to thank the loyal season ticket holders for your continued support and look forward to welcoming you back as soon as possible. Now, I have issue with this. Right? I really, really have issue with this. Don't get me wrong, it's a very, very good thing that what the club are doing. Very, very good. But it's just a way for them to hold on to your money and earn the interest on it, quite frankly. Now, for me, what I will be doing is I haven't asked for club cash. Now, club cash is a great idea, guys. At the end of the day, whatever your percentage is, whatever your value is about it, 10% of your ticket. I mean, for example, my 10% would be an extra 5, maybe 6 quid per game. So topping that up, that's what? Where are we? That's 112 quid if I opted to take club cash that they would whack on top of it. Now, bearing in mind that my plan is not to renew next season unless an absolute miracle happens. For me personally, I'm not going to be doing it. I'm going to be asking for the money back straight away. Because, quite frankly, guys, I could do with the money. My wages are fine. It's just the fact that, my personal life, I want to have more money available than I currently do. So I'm not doing it. I'm not taking the refund. I'm taking the refund. I'm not putting into club cash. Because once it's in there, you can't get it back. You can only apply it as a credit note. It's basically a credit note. Let's not put too fine a point in it. It's basically a credit note. I hope you guys can hear me because none of you are talking about what we're talking about in a minute. But yeah, I mean, let me know your thoughts on this, guys, about this. As I say, I get it. It's a fantastic offer for them to do, but it's our money sitting there for their purposes. It's our money. We should be able to, and that's why they're giving us the option to automatically have a refund. Now, whether that refund happens is another matter, really, really another matter. But yeah, it's crazy. But I get it because it's a good carrot for everybody to renew their season tickets next season. Understand. Completely understand. But yeah, it's not good. I mean, at the end of the day, we're already forking out money. For example, for people like me, for example, who don't have Sky Sports, who don't have BT, but have ways of watching it, we're paying extra money because I'm not using the streaming service anymore that I used to use. It's not working properly. I'm paying extra money to watch BT. I'm paying extra money for Sky Sports. Again, the club aren't giving us match day passes for either channel. I think it's ridiculous. I think it's absolutely ridiculous that they're not helping us out on this. And as a result, that's why I'm getting my money back from the club, because they're not subsidising us to help us. They're subsidising us to help themselves. And that's why I'm not getting my money back. That's why I am getting my money back. Andy Miles says, I would rather take the money and for me get the interest. Great. And it says, don't blame me with the season ticket money as I'm 50-50 for next season if I renew. Ken says, I think I'm going to do it because I will renew next year anyway. I'm as I say, it has to take a miracle, and that's a lot for me to say that. Hammers Rocky, hello mate. We need cover for Rice and Soucek to play in the working formation, let alone injuries. They will be burnt out. Snodgrass or Noble can't play that role. Surely Sullivan can see that. Apparently not, mate. Apparently not. Otherwise, we wouldn't be trying to get rid of everybody. What my worry is with injuries and COVID, potentially. I know that the kids will have to be drafted in as a last resort, but potentially we could not have enough players to have a proper fit squad for each game. That's what worries me. That's why I'm worried about these 11 players going out and only wanting to bring 2 more in. It's not good. It's not good. Dale says they go into administration, going to be a struggle to get the cash. Yeah, we're a few years away from that, mate. But yeah, it's a very, very good point. Gary says, if you did option 1, you won't be able to spend it on your ticket till 2 seasons time, unless they are increasing the prices by 10. Gary, what are you talking about? I did option 1, and it's nothing about 2 seasons. There's nothing about that whatsoever. Mate, you'll have to let us know where you're coming from that. I have no idea where you're coming from with that, because none of that has been talked about at all. None of that's been. You've seen the official statement there, mate. It would have been mentioned about it. It's got nothing to do with 2 seasons time. Mike says, I don't want those parasites having extra cash than they deserve. This is the catch-22 of it, mate. This is the problem. Yeah. They're going to use the excuse of us getting refunds from them as no money in January. You watch. I'm calling it now. Andy Miles says, my mate, a Luton fan, and gets to watch every game. He's got a match pass. Yeah, you can do that with iFollow, I think it is. Yeah, iFollow, which is how we're able to watch the cup games. You pay a tenner, which I don't mind. But it all adds up. It all adds up. Tenner here, tenner there. 25 quid a month for BT, 30 quid a month for Sky Sports. That's 55 quid down a month for 10 months. It's a lot of money. Andy says, would the Mirial be that I'm guessing Miracle? Yeah, you do. You mean Miracle? Be new owners, JP. Andy, the miracle would be the fact we bring in some absolutely blinding players, and we have a proper season that we all want, where we do properly finish slightly higher than mid-table. But that's not going to happen. New takeover is not going to happen. But those are the miracles I'm talking about, mate. Trosh says Ben Rama will fail for us. We're giving no reason why, but this is why play his agent is Salthouse. That doesn't really make sense, mate. But Tony says option 3, 30% was what I took. My way was I'm going to give them the full amount as they make. My way wasn't going to. I think even. No way, I think he means what? Well, my way wasn't going to give them the full amount as they make it so hard to get your money back. Club cash, not club credit, etc., etc. Yeah, I think I know what you mean with that, and fair enough, man. Yeah, fair enough. I wish I'd taken the 30% route now, to be honest with you. But it is what it is. Chris says, would you be happy if the club purchased the right to stream our games to season ticket holders only as part refund? Yeah, because at the end of the day, I want to be watching the games. Simple as. I want to be watching the games. I want to, if they gave us a stream for all the home games, fine, not an issue. Then I wouldn't want to have a money back from them. I wouldn't. But they're not doing that. They're saying that they're not helping us at all. Troy says, all the ITK say we're the buyout by Christmas. No. All the ones that are copying everybody else say that, but Troj, the one ITK that we should all be listening to, who makes the most sense, isn't saying anything by it. It doesn't happen in a space of 2 months. It doesn't happen. I've said this before. A buyout takes months, and I mean months, not a couple of months, not 3 months, 4 months. It takes months. There's all sorts of things to go through. There's all sorts of people getting involved. It doesn't happen. You're listening to liars. Dale says, I called it. We won't bring in. I called it. We won't bring in their financial free fall. They're in. They're in financial free fall, mate. We've been in financial free fall for 10 years. This is the problem. Gary says, we have already paid for our season ticket this year, so hang on, where's Mick's comment? Sorry, mate. Sorry, mate. Didn't mean to do that. I jumped straight over it. I'll be back in a second. We have already paid for our season ticket this year, so we will get all of the money back for next season. The 10% on top will be extra, so it will just sit in the club cash for the following season. Yeah, it's nothing to do with 2 seasons. So, as I say, this completely contradicts what you're saying, but backs up what I said. Hello, mate. Long time. Hope you're well. I am good. For me, I will go and support the team no matter what. Come next season, I will need the money. So if it's sitting in club cash, it's done. Fair enough. But I mean, your missus will know. Mandy will tell you how many times I've said to her, I'm not renewing. At least 2 or 3 months before the end of the season. But this time round, never said it this early. Gary, yeah, we've already talked about that. Pezza Psycho and now KUMB Insider return to confirm the rumours over something happening is true. Yes, something happening. Yeah, there is something, but it's not confirmed. Nothing's confirmed. As I say, it takes months for processes to happen. The due diligence that has to happen. They have to go through the accounts. They have to prove themselves. They have to ensure that they've got enough money for a 5-year, 7-year plan. Whatever the thing is, it's not going to happen in the space of a couple of months, man. I'm telling you, it's just not going to happen. Look at Newcastle. That took the majority of a year to do, and the Public Investment Fund of Saudi Arabia, they pulled out. It's just, it takes long. It takes long. That's the whole point. Chaz says, I think Mark Noble will retire in the next 2 seasons. I'll be very surprised if he doesn't retire next season, if I'm honest with you. Rob's Projector Wall says, last 2 games, 2 wins, happy days. John, don't worry, be happy. I've been a West Ham supporter too long to be anything else other than this, mate. But yeah, if we're in a decent position with 4 games to go, I'll be a lot more happier. I've seen a lot worse in my time, mate. A lot worse. Andy says that the thing that has annoyed me the most is Mr. Gold on Twitter. Announcements of players leaving makes it sound like a celebration. Nah, Andy, I'm glad you brought this up, mate, because I don't agree with this in any shape or form. The reason why it does is because of all the shit that's going on. He's distancing himself from everything that's going on. He's just wishing people luck. That's all he does. If he was celebrating it, but yeah, we've got another 40 grand a week off the wages. He's not. I mean, I've unfollowed him now because I don't like to see all the grief that he's getting, quite frankly, because he's getting grief because there's no other outlet to go to, and that's not right in any shape or form. But Andy, I know, mate. I get it. I completely understand it. But at the same point, he's not. He's done it every single time. He's welcomed new players. He welcomes Shofal or however you pronounce it. He welcomed him in, so it's only right that he says good luck with the guys that move. The other Andy says new buyers would do due diligence, which takes ages. You don't splash out that amount of money without doing it. Exactly, mate. No, you spelled due right. You didn't have to correct it, man. That is due. It is D-U-E. It is currently. You misspelled diligence, but never mind. Steve says, evening, John. When is the cut-off to sign Championship players? Hello, mate. It's Friday, the 16th of October at 5 p.m. We just got over a week. So more squeaky bum times. Keith, hello, mate. Milenkovic and left wing back. Maybe a young, high potential as player as Masuaku, a beast at the moment, but yeah, Ben Rama would be good, but he's just not super lazy and not tracking back. Okay. Dell says, I thought Noble retired last season. Shut up, man. If we sign Dawson, it's going to kick off, and rightly so. Right, we'll talk about that, right? Because there's another player that we're linked to. Now, you guys know I'm not into rumour in any shape or form. I don't get involved in rumour. I can't stand rumour. But there is another player that we're linked to, Steve Cook from Bournemouth. Now, Now I'll show you his details. Now this I really quite liked. Apparently we're putting in a 8 million bit. He's got an 8 million price tag on his head apparently. So ignore that little bit there. Ignore that because that's transfer markets valuation of him. Right. So 4 appearances in the championship. This is the more important thing. Right here. This bit. Centre back. Can play right back and left back. 29 years old. It's all right. You can have defenders go for a little bit longer than midfield players or attacking players because they don't need to be running around as much. I mean, they will need to with us. But this is the sort of player that I would like to see out of the two. Yes, all right. He's double the money for. He's double the money for what's his name? Where are we? Whatever his name is. The Trey Dawson. He's double the money, but you get more out of him by the looks of it. You really do get more. He's a right-footed centre back, which helps him, which means he can be quite versatile around there as well. Now this is this is transfer history, right? So once he went to a professional player, he went to Havant and Waterlooville back in 2008 on loan, and then on loan again out to Eastleigh, and then went out on loan to Eastbourne, and then Mansfield Town, and then Bournemouth, and then he went out on loan at Brighton. And back so he's been ping ponging around a little bit, but that's him. That's Steve Cook. That's the out of the two. I would prefer because there's no, as much as I'd like it, there's no way in hell we're getting John Stones. It's just not going to happen. Tomori turned around at 10 to 11 on Monday night saying, "I'm not going. I want to stay at Chelsea." Probably the reason for that is because he is basically down to the fact that he because if we are going to have a January transfer window, it's only a couple of months away, three at a push, so that's probably why. Dell says wonky leg from Mongolia FC. Keith says, if I see the word ace and target in a West Ham article, I'm going to flip. Ace is overused all the time, so I totally agree with you. Kent says, can't sign Milan Netkovic, he's a European player. There you go. We could have done. That's how much people don't understand about the transfer window. Cook was stellar a couple of years ago, says Troge. Agreed. And he says, the only rumour I listen to is the player holding West Ham shirt up. It's not rumour, it's fact. But I know where you're going with it, mate. Good evening, Kieran. Hope you're all right, mate. Or good morning, I should say, for you. Steve Cook never played 3 at the back. Agreed. And Soufal never really played attacking wing back. He can actually do it. Keith says, no, it can't be not Steve Cook. And that's apparently who we asked. Chad can't wait. Says Robert Snodgrass is going to Celtic. No, he's not, because the transfer window's closed. As I said earlier, you can only transfer with the EFL and below from now on. It was they expressed interest, but there was no bid. And he says, can try and get Josh King. Would be a great player to bring in. And Billing. Not really sure what you mean by the end of that one, mate. Keith says, tomorrow's an idiot. 50 grand if he don't play. That's good. It's not good for our wages, mate. That was the most unbelievable thing I've ever seen. Unbelievable that we were saying, look, the loan fee was about 4 or 5 million allegedly, and also the fact that we were going to pay Chelsea 50 grand a week even if he didn't play. That's stupid, man. It's absolutely fucking stupid. These guys have got no clue on how to do anything. They are completely clueless. And I mean that in every single stretch of the imagination, the definition of it. They have no clue what they're doing. I mean, I'm far from an accountant in any shape or form, but that's desperation, absolute desperation. And no wonder tomorrow he went, no, fuck that. Keith says, no, Andy, I'll listen if it says a medical is scheduled or advanced talks. Kent Hammer says, Philip Billing, midfielder, John. Okay, fair enough. But you know, mate, I don't listen to. I don't listen to rumours, as I say, because there's a lot of crap that floats around. But as I say, Steve Cook was one of the ones that I actually went up to and go, oh yeah, that certainly did get my attention. That's for sure. Now, guys, there was an article that was floating around that people couldn't actually read from financial accounts or whatever it was about West Ham and the LLDC taking into court. Now, for those of you who haven't been able to view the article, because a geezer on Twitter very kindly put up screenshots of the whole article, so you obviously subscribe to have a look at it. Poor bloke. And here we go. Typical Dale saying, "I listen to Karen off Facebook." But this is the information about the court case that the LLDC and West Ham are taking. So I'll share it with you as well, so you can have a read of it. Let me just zoom in so you can. I don't think it's going to work with this now, is it? No, it's not going to work. So I'll read it out instead for you. It said the West Ham agreement does not recover from West Ham by way of rent. So let me start again. The West Ham agreement does not recover from West Ham by way of rent and other charges a sum sufficient to cover the associated running costs of the stadium. Basically, what it means is the fact that the current agreement doesn't hold us liable for any further costs that is needed to run the stadium when it's on match day. Presently, the investment by the public purse in the stadium transformation is not only unlikely ever to be recovered. We've known that. We've all said that for a good few years. It will, on present figures, be likely to worsen year by year at the rate of some 10 to 20 million pounds a year due to expected operating losses. Now, this is what worries me, right? They expect to lose 10 to 20 million pounds because they've already budgeted for it with the agreement. So that doesn't smell right to me. An LLDC spokesman said, "We are in dispute with A&O over the drafting of the United concession agreement, and despite our attempts to resolve this dispute with A&O, have been unable to do so. We have a responsibility to protect taxpayers' interests and have had no alternative but to seek redress through the courts." Understandable. A spokesperson for A&O said, "This claim is entirely without merit and we will defend it vigorously." Stadium's owners, blah, 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 blah. Talks about the 66,000 seating capacity again. But yeah, it's basically at the end of the day, that's the thing. This is what's going to happen. Rob says, talk about scraping the bottom of the barrel. We are joke club, mate, talking about Steve Cook. But it just goes in again, because if that agreement has to be redrafted, then West Ham are going to have to pay more money, which means we've got less funds available for squad players, which means less money coming in. It's just we're bust. We are going to be screwed over by those. Not to sound too much like Baz, but it's the same thing. It all comes down to one person. It's David Sullivan. I know a lot of people we are arguing with Karen Brady, but she only deals with a small part of it. It's dealt with by other people in the background. She's just the public face for the big things. But we have 22 sponsors, and we only get £4 million. £4 or £5 million a year out of those sponsors. The person who is involved, which I can't remember the name of it, because I know Sean did tell me when I was asking him about it from WHU a little while back. He did tell me the name, but it's him that's more. It's because I know because when I was talking to Frankie from Cloughton Blue Army TV, we also had a conversation about it, and he did a bit of research, and apparently you only need to spend 200,000. Well, the breakdown, the 22 sponsors and the £4 million equates to £200,000 entry fee. That's it. £200,000 to be a sponsor for West Ham is nothing. It's ridiculous. it doesn't even cover a month's wages for some players. It's pathetic. It's absolutely pathetic. And he says, Mr. Sullivan's playing Football Manager 2 months before the release day. Hello, PB. Good to see you, mate. Hope you're all right. Keith says, Manning maybe or King or even Rico Henry. It'd be interesting. Tony makes my good point. We was going to pay 50 grand if Tomori didn't play, but David Sullivan was complaining about the Everton trip and the cup cost of 50 grand expenses. Exactly, mate. It's stupid. It's just what I'm saying. I just got no clue. Chad can't worry. I think now that Mars is back, our winning streak is going to end. Chad, he's never been away. He's been given instructions to Irvine and Pierce for the last 3 to 4 games. He's never been away. So, no. Keith, £40 million budget. I reckon the person on TalkSport was laughing when the midget started that. TSC, let's donate to Sullivan's GoFundMe. Dro says Brady out, and the other two for that matter. Rob says, read the small print. In what context, mate? Kieran says, could be worse. We could have bought Maguire. Rhoda and Tony, hello. John, good morning. John, do you think with the virus increasing and no crowns for most of the season that this will lead to any Premier League clubs will fold? Burnley look in trouble. I wouldn't say fold in the literal sense, but it won't be far off. A lot of clubs will struggle. I mean, we're bloody struggling, so it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And the last thing I want to talk about, because just as we wrap up to it, is I don't know if you've seen this. I genuinely haven't read this, so we're going to read this together, which is up on the West Ham website, which is open letters to supporters. Together we will get fans safely back into grounds. The Premier League, EFL, WSL and Women's Championship have published the following open letters to supporters regarding the safe return of supporters to the grounds. The Premier League, EFL, the FA, Women's Super League and Women's Championship want to assure all fans that together we are fully committed to your safe return to football grounds as soon as possible. The health of the nation remains our overriding priority, and for many months we have been working with the experts to make our grounds as safe as, if not safer than, any public activity currently allowed. Well, experts should be in inverted commas. And we are consulting with the Football Supporters Association to keep supporters updated every step of the way. We know attendance at matches can play a positive role in the people's lives during these challenging times, and the past few months have shown how clubs can still feel the support of their fans. Even when you have been unable to get together, you and your clubs have found ways to make a difference in your communities, with clubs delivering food parcels, taking part in phone calls and online conversations with fans, the elderly and vulnerable, and moving services and programs online to make a difference in unprecedented and challenging circumstances. But we all know football is not the same without fans. Every player and manager is missing the direct connection with you and the impact that you have on our games. With the EFL, Premier League, Women's Super League and Women's Championship already staging 11 successful test events recently, we have demonstrated that we can deliver matches safely. The sooner we can return, the sooner we can reunite communities and support local jobs, livelihoods, regional businesses and also the national economy. We will continue to urge government to allow us to return fans safely to stadiums. It is positive progress that major arts and music venues have been told they can run socially distanced events indoors, and now football should be allowed to do the same in highly regulated and stewarded outdoor environments. Well, yes, technically a football stadium is an outdoor environment. Additionally, representatives from football are active members of the government's sports technology and innovation group, as well as being involved with their Moonshot mass testing project to open up the economy. And in light of the postponement of tests events, we will intensify our efforts to pioneer approaches, working with epidemiologists, scientists and medical experts in such areas as public health, clinical processes and occupational hygiene. This will make sure the stadiums are COVID safe by considering best practice screening and hygiene methods to ensure that fans and the general public will be safe and drive the government sporting plans to move faster. Stadium events can be modified and carefully managed. Measures could include screening spectators before they enter the ground, installing temperature checks, requiring masks to be worn, one-way systems, and providing a code of conduct for all those attending on a match day. This will all be bolstered by deep cleaning practices to help further reduce the risk of virus transmission. Clubs want to be proactive on this matter and will consider and willing to consider measures both in the stadium and on the approach that will allay any concerns to fans' safety. From a travel perspective, clubs will work closely with experts and local authorities to model solutions relevant for each stadium to ease pressure on public transport, while extra parking facilities could be available so a greater proportion of you can travel by private car or bicycle. We are determined to identify a path forward with government. We need clarity for our clubs and for you as supporters as to what the roadmap for changes in this area looks like. We all know why caution is needed, and we ask government for consistency in their policy so sport is treated as fairly as other activities currently allowed to welcome spectators. So we will continue to urge the relevant authorities to let us together use innovative ways to bring fans safely back into football grounds, starting with the return of the test event programme. If we do so, then the benefits will be felt not just by fans but throughout the society and the economy. Blah, 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 blah. Chief Executive's here, Chief Executive's there. Right? So, yeah. What the bloody hell you guys been talking about? Andy, why you guys... But yeah, in a nutshell, it's quite frankly saying, we want you back as soon as possible. There's just no way we can do it at the moment. Pretty much. Troge says Burnley used to take the least with small crowds for income. Surely, their turnover was pretty good. Most of Burnley's cash was TV money. No, mate, it wasn't. No, they actually look after their fans. So, Andy says, anyone know how much we get from Betway? Spurs get 40 million a year from AIA. If I remember correctly, it was about 6 million a year, I think, or it was 40 million. It was 40 million spread over, was it 5-year period or something like that? I can't remember what it was, but I'm sure the Oracle, that is Kent, if he's still here, I'm sure we'll be able to tell you. So you got let's have a look. You're all talking about sponsorship. Trojan says our sponsorship has always been Tim Port. Disagree, mate. We've had some very good company sponsors in the Ford Dagenham, the BAC. All right, their logo wasn't brilliant, but Doc Martens was a brilliant logo. They were huge in the 60s and 70s, not as big as they are now, but they were absolutely massive back in those days. Andy quite rightly says, yeah, bring back Avco as a sponsor. That was sponsored at very, very good times. Trojan, no mate, Pony wasn't our peak sponsor. We've had bigger ones than that. I'm not going to put those ones up. TSC just says don't allow any away fans in. Rob says there you go, you just read the small print. Andy Walsh, you're a father, you shouldn't be putting stuff like that up. Mate, when we have a pint together at some point, man, we're going to have a massive conversation. Chad Cartwright, is Ryan Fredericks still out injured? Yes, apparently he should be back for the Spurs game. Kieran says, Razzle, no one remember that magazine. I do. I remember Razzle. Only just, but I remember it. Tony says, are they not watching the news? COVID cases are increasing. Chances are we're going to see more closures before things begin to reopen. Totally agreed. Completely agreed. So if the league is stopped, There's been talk, Rhoda and Tony. There's been talk about it. Nothing's been set in stone yet. But if it does go into another national wide lockdown, then we will find out. We will find out what their conversations have been. But it will still be going on for telly anyway, because it's just for TV right money. That's all they care about. They don't give a shit about us. That's why the games are still being broadcast and still being played. Tries a BAC Windows was a crap company on the old A12. I went to an interview there once. Plus the logo was huge. We should sponsor British Airways. They should sponsor us, mate. They got more chance of a better investment. Droves, the best thing about Betway is no logo and it's white and so not too noticeable. Mate, it stands out a bloody mile when you put it on a claret shirt. Why, are you going to tell me off then, JB? Well, I won't if your little boy's around you, mate. But yeah, otherwise I have to have serious words, son. But yeah, guys, yeah, thank you very much for joining in. I wasn't going to do this, but it was only literally because of those two statements that the club have put up over the last couple of days, that I wanted to talk to you about them. Because at the end of the day, I always say to you that unless there isn't anything interesting to talk about, then these weeklies won't go on. Because at the end of the day, guys, you know as well as I do, there's lots of shit around, and we've pretty much summed up everything over the last 7 days. So guys, it's great to have you on board as it always is, and thank you to everybody that's been involved in the conversation in every shape or form, and also for those of you that are watching but haven't been commenting. It means everybody's support. And also likewise, I just want to say thank you very much to Rick, if you're still here. Thank you very much for your increase to your Patreon. You went down to the lower level, but now it obviously looks like you've been paid a bit. So you've gone back up to the starting 11. So it's good. Thank you very much for your support, Rick. Thank you very much to everybody in the chat. Both Andy Miles, of course. Thank you very much for being a Patreon as well. Troj, Rhoda, it's great that I've been able to talk to you two. Today we haven't normally, it's been a comment here and there and you've done one of the live chat sort of thing, but that's it. Tony, great to have you back again. Kieran, thank you very much for coming in. TSC, great as always. Chad, good to see you again. Rob's Projector Wall, thank you very much for popping in. It's always nice to see new people. If you and anybody else that's watching this broadcast, if you haven't already done so, please do subscribe to the channel. Because we're very, very close to, well, we're closer to 1,700 than we are to 1,800. We're literally not only a handful away of subscribers to 1,800. So please, by all means, please do hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell. Troj, I say thank you very much for popping in. Keith, thank you. Del, I know you're not watching now, mate, but Del, thank you very much. We might pop back just for the end of it. But thank you very much for everybody. Cheese or cheese. But yeah, and as I say, if anybody enjoys the conversation, then you're more than welcome to send a super chat at some point to help, because all the money that goes into the pot, it all helps. And of course, if you want to become a Patreon, again, the link's in the description below, which you'll get more value for money, shall we say, out of that. So guys, thank you very much for your time, and I guess I'll see you probably for, where are we? Probably for the Spurs preview, because there's games on next Sunday. So unless anything decent pops up over the next 7 days, look after yourselves and stay safe. Be a Patreon, subscribe, comment, like and share. All the best.